let's look in depth how it gets relationships going again. So in question 1, we said, I'd like to look at repairing or improving our relationship, and I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. Would that be okay? So this first question is vital. Without an agreement from the other person to consider repair or improvement, nothing can happen. However, what has happened simply by asking the question is that A, you've made a communication that's been received. Remember, that's the first part of the wheel, received communication. And B, you've helped the other person understand that you are looking to improve or repair the relationship. So the second part of the wheel, understanding and comprehension, has also been hit. And C, they may respect the effort you are making, which is the third part of the wheel, respect, trust and affection. You will have effectively taken this broken relationship completely around the wheel of rapport. It's rather like an old-fashioned hand crank that was used to start old cars and aeroplanes. And if the answer to the question is yes, you can move on to the next step and you can continue the restarting process. Of course, if the answer to the question is no, it's not okay, you then have to say, okay, I appreciate how you feel. May I ask when I can ask that question again? They may say never, or they may say give me some time. Either way, you've made your effort. So let's move on to the second step, because the second step is much more demanding. Part 2, the question. Okay, regarding the communication in our relationship, was there anything that I didn't communicate to you? So this second question is asking the other person if there was anything that you didn't say to them. It's extremely important that you word the question like this, because by doing this, you're not asking them to justify their behaviour towards you in the relationship. Because if you said, is there anything that we didn't communicate to each other, they might think you were actually saying, what didn't you communicate? In other words, the other person might feel blamed for the relationship breakdown, and this will make them feel defensive. Whether they were at fault or not is not important at this stage. In fact, they could be completely at fault for the breakdown in the relationship, but if you wish to repair it, by you saying, was there anything that I didn't communicate to you, you may find something out about the relationship you didn't realise. What is extremely important in this process is that the other person does not feel blamed, because if they feel this, the process will fail. Remember, your objective is to improve, mend or understand this relationship. It's not about apportioning blame. This is why your questions initially indicate that you are taking responsibility for your part in it. In reality, you're asking the other person's opinion and confronting how they feel about you as opposed to how you feel about them. The other person is being given an opportunity to air their viewpoint about the relationship without having to justify themselves. Where this becomes demanding is that you will want to reply to their comments. You may feel that their point of view is incorrect, or they're making inflammatory comments and trying to push your buttons to get a reaction. Whatever you do, you must not react to what the other person is saying. What you must do is acknowledge their comments with an, okay, I hear what you're saying. Is there anything else that I haven't communicated to you? And this is question 3. So question 3, okay, I hear what you're saying. Is there anything else that I haven't communicated to you? After you've been through this procedure a few times, you will have given the other person plenty of opportunities to express themselves. By sticking to the procedure and by not getting sidetracked by old issues, you are giving your relationship with this person the opportunity to go through several rotations of the wheel. This means that the relationship, which had previously been static with no communication, is now active with new communication and fresh understanding. If you are asked questions such as, why didn't you, etc., then you have to use the following statement. I appreciate that you would like to ask me that. However, This process works by giving you an opportunity to voice your opinion, so I can see where I can improve myself as well. If you'd like to ask these same questions to me, we can do that as well. Is that okay? The other person, now knowing that they would have their opportunity to ask the same questions to you later on, is usually satisfied to continue through the procedure. We move on to question 4, and before we do, let me say that often that this process by question 3 has re-energized the relationship to such an effect that actually the relationship is rekindled and reconnected. And sometimes you don't need to go to question 4 because you're already re-engaged. The point about this tool is you're not a slave to the procedure. If you wish to stop because the relationship is spinning again, you're at will to do so. However, if you're getting very terse answers or the person isn't really reconnecting, you can move on to question 4. And at question 4 you would say, okay, thanks for that. Regarding the understanding in our relationship, was there anything that I failed to understand about you or what you want? Here you are, giving the other person the opportunity to tell you exactly how well they feel you understood them. Even if you think you understood them well, if they feel differently, their perception of you is very important to them. The very fact that you're interested in finding out how you've not understood them or what they wanted shows that you wish to improve the relationship. This will continue until question 5, which was, okay, was there anything else that I failed to understand about you or what you want has been dealt with? Often, most relationships are revitalized or improved and the wheel is spinning again. In fact, people often tell me that by the time they get to question 5, they're communicating freely and sorting out all the issues that caused the break in the relationship in the first place. However, if that hasn't happened, the next 3 questions relating to a loss of respect, affection or trust can really get to the heart of the matter. You will note that these questions are more open. Has there been a loss of respect? Allows the other person to accept that there are 2 sides to every relationship, and by being open with each other, the relationship, if not back on track, is at least improving. By the time you get to the last question, namely, is there anything else that you'd like to say about our relationship? The other person has had the opportunity to fully explore the reasons that the relationship did. You will have had the benefit of understanding how your actions were perceived by the other party, even if your perception is different. Now, this is a challenge for some people. We don't like to hear how others think we've behaved badly, even if we don't think we've done anything wrong. We will become defensive ourselves. However, whether or not this particular relationship can be saved or improved, you will have learned something about the effects of your behaviour upon others that will certainly give you an insight into other relationships you have, both current and future. Consider this last point. How would you like to be the one to have such an opportunity to get your point across, to be listened to and uninterrupted like this? I'm guessing that you might jump at it. And actually, everybody you've had a broken or difficult relationship will jump at it as well. And in sales, this means you get an opportunity to reconnect with old clients, old suppliers, or people you haven't spoken to in a very, very long time. Actually, this also gives you confidence so that you don't have to worry about your conversations you have with people now with good relationships, because you know that should anything go wrong, you can repair it using this tool. And that confidence is absolutely phenomenal for salespeople. The normal result from using this technique is improved relationships, with people engaging more and having better conversations. By giving the other person the opportunity to get their point across first, you're giving yourself the same opportunity to get your point across once they've been through this process. In some instances, the hurt or betrayal felt by the other person is so great that they're unable to restart the relationship no matter how hard you try. But at least you know you can try, and if they don't want to continue the relationship, you know you've done everything you could do. Now, if you've got a good relationship or a reasonable relationship with clients or with friends, or colleagues. There's another dimension that can make existing good relationships even better. It's similar with a few changes to the words, and I'll just quickly run through this. Part 1. I'd like to look at improving our relationship, and I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. Would that be okay? 2. Okay, regarding the communication in our relationship, is there anything that could improve how I communicate to you? 3. Okay, regarding the understanding in our relationship, is there anything that I can do to better understand you or what you want? 4. Okay, thanks for that. Regarding our relationship, how can we grow respect for each other? 5. Okay, regarding our relationship, how can we grow the affection between us? Number 6. Okay, regarding our relationship, how can we improve the trust we have? And lastly, number 7. Okay, is there anything else you'd like to say about our relationship? This is an easy and fun way to improve close relationships. This is the variation that I use to teach in business, and it's really effective.